everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you live and in our house, which is going to be finished in construction. So you guys are officially my first guests. Bruchim Abayim, welcome to my home. And I today wanted to come here and speak to you about this time between Purim and Passover. And what I've learned over the years where I so had wanted to be disciplined. Like, since I was a kid, I would look at people and I'd be like, how come, she has better grades than I do? And I'd compare myself and be like, okay, so don't look at who she is. Like, she's just obviously working harder than you. So you need to be more disciplined, Lily, and you need to work harder. And I would try my best to work harder. And I'd look around at the girls who had more friends than I did, and I'd be like, okay, what are they doing that you're not doing? You know what? Maybe they're nicer. Maybe, Lily, you need to be nicer. So I worked really hard at being nicer. And I looked around at everybody who was slimmer than I was, who was wearing cute clothes, who could shop in the stores that I wanted to shop on. And it was like, obviously, they have more self-discipline than you do. They are controlling themselves around food, and you're not doing that, right? Like, isn't that what we're always told? Calories in, calories out, right? Like, obviously you're overeating, Lily, and they're not doing that. So you need to figure that out. Well, it didn't work out for me. Instead, every time I would try to be more and more and more disciplined, I became more and more rebellious. I would break down. I would burn out. I would feel like everything was too overwhelming. It was just too much work. Ever feel that way? Can you guys relate to ever wanting something so much? Wanting to be healthy. Wanting to be in a healthy body. Wanting to wear the clothes that you want to wear. Wanting to sit down at a meal and not feel like food is calling you just because everyone's having such a good time that the meal is going long. Not worrying about the buffet at a wedding because you know the next day you're going to feel gross and regret and then not be able to wear what you want to wear next time and take it out on your kids because you're just so cranky. Somebody shared with me this past week how what they hated most about their lack of discipline around food was the stories they'd make up about how food went missing when people went to bed at night and all the food was there, and in the morning so many of the foods that they expected to see in the fridge, freezer, pantry were miraculously gone. I know as a kid, I remember very clearly making up stories about where this treat went, or where, the extra challah from Shabbos went, or, feeling like I had to always do these things just because I was trying to discipline. Don't you look up to people who are disciplined? Well, I'm going to ask you to flip the script with me today, because it's something that's changed my life and is continuing to evolve me and change my life, and I've seen the impact that it's had on people I've been able to help with this so far, and I know it's going to have a positive impact on you. And it's this concept of when I sat down and thought about my journey over the last 20 years of making friends with food, making friends with my body, and finding my ideal weight and then maintaining my ideal weight. When I really paced out that journey, how much of it was actually nutrition knowledge? How much of it was the way I think about food? How much of it was the way I think about myself? I realized that at each point of the journey, when I stopped worrying about being disciplined, and I didn't know what the word alignment meant at the time, but looking back, it was I started aligning, then I saw a really big jump. And it was at each point, I would try again to discipline myself, and then I would fail, and I would fail again, and then I just wouldn't give up, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to figure this out a new way this time. And I would align, and then I would progress. And so when I created the Shabbat Ideal Weight Blueprint, it started, 18 months ago. when I first started even thinking about this program, almost 2 years. It was Sukkot 2 years ago that I, in my mind, had this vision of what I wanted my story and my teachings to be, that I knew would really help people. What people, in my opinion, were missing, and the people that I was coaching, what was really working for them. And so in the Shabbat Ideal Week Blueprint Group Coaching, we're looking from Purim to Passover. It's 6 weeks. And it's actually a little bit more. I'm giving some bonus time because I know with the holidays we can get overwhelmed, and I want to make sure we have the most intentional, amazing, aligned holiday experience to reach and live at your ideal weight. And that all comes down to taking a big deep breath and let's not be worrying about discipline anymore. We need some. We want to have discipline, but we want to stop disciplining ourselves. We want to stop being disciplined. We want to start having discipline. And we do that through having this thing called alignment. And I'm really curious if you guys have ever heard of this term alignment before. It was new to me. And the more that I've learned about it, the more that I've taught it, the more that I've lived it, the more that I read about it, the more that I take mentorship and teachings about it, the deeper and more it resonates with me as the real Torah Jewish approach. And it is to take a deep breath and sit down and do the stuff that we don't want to do, and that is go through the process of figuring out what our values are and who we are first. And once we know how we feel about this and what our values are on food, on Shabbat, on money, on our body, like what are my values around how I want to think about my body? Do I want to think about my body as a divine creation? Do I want to think about my body as divinely perfect? Do I want to think about my body as a tool for my soul to take its purpose in the world and to act it out into this world? Like, what do I actually want to feel about my body? Do I want to feel like it's just gorgeous and powerful? Do I want to feel like my body is slim and energetic and healthy and vibrant? Like, what do I want to feel about my body? What do I want my kids to feel about their bodies? And what do I want people around me to feel about my body? Like, what are my real values? And then take a deep breath and say, what would that look like on paper? Like, would that look like eating more vegetables? Would that look like drinking more water? Would that look like giving up sugar forever and never eating challah and hummus? Or would that probably look like having a cookie here and there? Would that look like having a piece of challah or a glass of wine or toasting somebody at their wedding or bar mitzvah and really just feeling free around food? But also knowing at the same time that you are acting in alignment with how you want to feel, with respect, with body confidence, with realizing that this is a divine, perfect creation, and there's no reason to stuff it up with stuff that doesn't belong there, that is taking away from your ability to do and be your divine purpose. So that's the process. We get clarity, what are our values? We get confidence as to what on paper does that actually look like? And we have some gratitude for the process. And the more that I resisted the process, and I'm like, okay, discipline, right? We got this. We are going to push, and then we're going to get to the finish line, and it's going to feel amazing, and I'm going to wear that dress, and I'm going to go to that wedding, and I'm going to sit down at the Seder, and I'm just going to feel like $1 million. That's awesome. But then if all you see is yourself sitting at that dress at the Seder, and then you eat all the matzah, which is a mitzvah, and you want to eat all the matzah, and everybody wakes up the next day after eating the matzah feeling bloated. So do you feel like a failure then? Or do you go in with, I want to sit down at the Seder, and I want to be calm, and I want to be relaxed, and yeah, I'm going to be wearing that dress, but while I'm at the Seder, I'm really going to be focused on each person there. I'm going to be focused on connecting with this concept of freedom, connecting with my Jewish identity, connecting with my family members or friends, connecting with this idea of freedom, dealing with the real stuff. And I'm going to eat the matzah and the shiur, that's the mitzvah, and I'm going to talk to my rabbi about, if I have IBS, so I always do the minimum shiur, but I check what's the shiur, and I eat the minimum, and I drink tons of water. And there's so many really cool things Also at the Seder, like you can have a vegetable plate for karpas that's not just parsley. Like you could have a huge vegetable platter. And we could all be eating vegetables and drinking water and make sure I eat before the Seder. And I have all these tips that we do in the 2-hour interactive Passover workshop, which is part of the Shabbat Ideal Weight Blueprint. 2-hour Purim workshop. Tons of tips, strategies, tools, very, very practical. But all of that comes from this place of alignment. I can't tell you how many Purims I have tried so hard to be disciplined. So hard. I remember in tears, burned out from a Purim that was amazing. Like, we had the costumes, and the kids had an amazing time, and I enjoyed watching them give all their friends the mishtochei mano. And I had a fantastic Suda with friends, and I was present, and I was disciplined, and I got up in the morning, and I worked out, and I did it all right. And I was so tired at the mess. Everyone left me at the end of the day, and my husband passed out on the couch, and and he even put the kids to bed, so like really worked on it. And then I'd open the freezer and eat like 7 chocolate bars. Yeah, that happened. Because in the end, I was disciplined till I broke. I wasn't aligning. And even though so many of those tips and tools and routines I still do now because they were part of my values, they were part of my alignment, what was missing was this concept of being disciplined. Instead, I realized I'm going to have a glass of wine on Purim, and I'm going to get done with everybody, whatever cleaning can get done, and then either if I can hire somebody, I will hire somebody, and if I can't hire somebody, it will all wait until tomorrow, and we will all clean it together. That need to do it right, that need to have it perfect, that need for things to always be how I want them to be is discipline. And when we get so controlling and so disciplined, and the opposite of that is failure, then we're not really in the end going to be able to maintain our weight loss. We're not going to really be at our ideal weight. We'll have lost weight. Losing weight's awesome. If you're in an unhealthy weight, losing weight can be really healthy, really aligned with your values. But being and living in an ideal weight state, the whole way to your ideal weight, staying at your ideal weight, comes from a deeper place, comes from alignment, comes from figuring out how you're going to talk to God every day. Whether it's in the car, or it's on a walk, or it's 2 minutes in the shower in the morning. But like, how you're going to think everything in my head, I need to go this way, and then just hand it off to Him. And be like, okay, I know probably not every detail is going to go the way I want it today. I accept that, and I'm willing to make the most important things happen and release the rest, and know that you have a plan bigger, more beautiful, more delightful than mine. And then, for example, today, I'm supposed to be surrounded by workers right now and I'm supposed to be at the beach, finishing up our house project. And this morning, I worked out, I'm all ready to go to the beach, and I open the door, and my husband's like, and the workers are coming tomorrow. And I lost it, felt like this, I just like, and I went like, and then I went, I apologize, that was really disrespectful. I got really scared, and I felt really, really disrespected. And so I just lashed out, but hold on, stop, I apologize, let's try that again. The workers aren't coming today. Okay, this is how I saw the day going all the way through Shabbos. Maybe we're gonna have to order in food this week. Maybe all the picture frames are not gonna be up. Maybe all these other details will take till Tuesday to happen. Okay, these are the most important things. This is how I want to behave. This is what's in my values. I am still going to be at my Misiosi Sharm Shir today, and I'm still going to go to the beach. But some of the other things I had on schedule aren't going to happen, and I was 10 minutes late for our talk. So that's it. But God has an even more delightful plan than the plan that I had, because when I came on today, I didn't get to come on from this place of like, I'm so excited, I know how to help you. I got to come on from this place of like, I'm with you. I know what it feels like to want to be disciplined, to want to be controlled all the time. And I know what it feels like to still be in the process of surrendering. Or I like to call it aligning, because gosh, I'm such a my heart, I'm a warrior, and surrender never sounds like something I want to do. So I would like to think about it as a korban to Hashem of my desires and accepting and receiving something better than I'm giving. And I like to think of it as aligning rather than surrendering. Just me. So if you're like me and you want to go into from Purim to Passover, not feeling like a failure that you're not disciplined enough, and in fact setting yourself up for not just weight loss over this period of time, but living in alignment with your values, where you're really going to enjoy the process. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to have very strategic tips, tools, menus, cookbooks, recipes, like real stuff day to day, like how I got through to Purim in that place. But you're going to get the most important stuff, and that's how, even after you're doing everything right, how to get the results that you want, and how to keep going even when you're not motivated, and how to be aligned with always what you want, and how, most importantly, because nobody's perfect, including me, how to get back into alignment when things aren't exactly happening the way you want, which is the story of the Jewish holidays for women. Purim to Passover is going to be full of a lot of times where you want the cleaning to happen this way, and you have lists, and you need to be like, whoosh, take it down. Some of those things aren't going to happen, but I'm still going to have an even more better experience because I didn't make perfect so exact. Instead, I'm really going to live my best Jewish life at a weight and in my body that feels aligned with my values, aligned with who I really want to be. So that the person on the outside, when I look in the mirror and I love my reflection, is who I am on the inside. So all this effort and time I have spent in creating what I think is the most meaningful gift I can give to you is a program that stops waking, that creates a system for you to learn to meet and love your reflection from your spiritual mind, body, soul alignment, and to live at your ideal weight without excessive discipline or deprivation, but through aligning with what you really want. And I want to talk to you about my program. I want to help see if this is a good fit for where you are and your journey right now. This is a more advanced program, meaning that we talk about the food groups, we talk about what to eat, but we talk about really the next step. Like, you know how to be healthy more or less, and you really want to be aligned with that. You know what to do, but you're not doing it. You want to do it better than you're doing it right now. You want to do it, more authentically than you're doing it right now. This is what this program is about. It's next level. So if you're like a beginner and you're like, I don't really know what healthy eating looks like for me, I've been doing a lot of keto, I've been doing a lot of deprivation diets, this isn't the first step for you, and I'm happy if you want to reach out to me to direct you to what I think is the first step. This is advanced, but it's the advancement that's the difference between weight loss and living at your ideal weight. Thank you so much, Safira. I love you, and if this program sounds like a good fit for you, then we have the digital course and we have this group coaching experience, which is officially launching March 9th with a 2-hour interactive Purim workshop, is going to be officially completed in April, the week before Passover, with a 2-hour Passover interactive workshop. But I'm including 2 bonus weeks during Passover and after Passover to make sure that you guys have implementation. And you're going to have 6 group sessions, and it's going to have 2 bonus, so in the end it's going to be 8, but it's officially 6. But more than that, you're also going to be able each week to sign up for a free included one-on-one 30-minute implementation session. So as long as you're at that group session and you watch the content that you get beforehand and you've had the group discussion, if you're like, wait, I still want to talk to Lily, I still want her to help me figure this out, or I had something that was maybe a little too vulnerable for me to share with the group, or I shared it but I didn't quite get all the way to the solution, then you're every week, like, schedule them ahead of time, like, use me. Every week I'm going to be there to talk to you, and especially if one-on-one coaching is out of your price range, this can be a great way for you to get the benefits of that and the benefits of a group experience in a very specific time frame. So you're not signing up for one-on-one coaching that can last 6 months to a year. This is really 6 weeks of taking yourself to the next level and then continuing to implement on your journey and be in touch and use the community. So I hope that I'll see you also on Friday. This Friday, 10 a.m., we're going to continue these little workshops we've been doing, and it's going to be a start about Purim, a few tips to start thinking about right now, to start thinking intelligently and intentionally about your Purim, and keep answering and responding to posts in the group, so I really see where your mindset is going into this Friday. Ask me questions, set up a call to ask me if you're a good fit for this program. We signed up 4 people already, and I have a spot that is waiting for you. I love you. Have an incredible, incredible day.